everyone. Hi, and welcome to Entrepreneurial Corners. I am your host, Sharice Johnson Moore, and today we have a special guest. His name is Sean Banks, and he is the owner of Cachet Consulting out of Reston, Virginia. And I hope that you really enjoy Sean today. All right. And hello, Sean. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Sharice. How about you?
I'm blessed by the best. I'm blessed. Today we have Sean Banks. He is the owner of Cachet Consulting. It is a consulting and advisory firm for small service-based businesses that focus on accounting, marketing, and technology. Voted as a Alignable's Business Person of the Year for 2023 in Reston, Virginia. The president and founder of Cachet Consulting. Sean Banks continues to support small businesses through partnerships, at webinars, and other resources that can be found on www.cachetconsulting.co or through a podcast that he has a co-host of called Business as Usual. Welcome everyone to Entrepreneurial Corners, where today our special guest is Sean Banks, of owner and CEO of Cachet Consulting. So, Sean, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I am doing good. This week has been nothing but amazing, I'll say, for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just as this week I feel like has been a lot of more focus on
Mm-hmm.
what I believe is trying to figure out, what is the right balance of
Yes.
being able to not only just work my business, but also find time for myself as a business owner. And time management can be the biggest struggle for me. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and I think it's time management is the biggest struggle for any business owner because that's when you got to be able to balance, working like your business, doing other roles that's important, whether it's like being a husband, being a father, um, got to be the dog parent if you have a pet.
Yes.
So it's a lot to actually be able to time manage everything. So this week has been all about putting that into perspective for myself. And my thing I always believe in is just getting 1% better each and every day.
Oh, I know that's right. I know that's right. So, what at so tell us more deeply, what is Cachet Consulting about?
Sure. So Cash Consulting, like you said in the bio, it is an advisory firm for small businesses. We're specifically focused on service-based businesses. So this could be pest control companies, it could be other consulting firms, it could be nail salons, it could be maybe mental health counselors. It could be anyone that's providing a service to the community. But we focus on three aspects, which is the marketing, the accounting, and technology. And when it comes to small businesses, those are the three main areas that small businesses really lack or not the most proficient in. So when you're able to know what all the upcoming technologies are out there, all the latest trends, when you're able to understand how your finances work, whether you're bringing money in, what money is going out, and also knowing how to tap into your market, you're able to see the success that you're supposed to see as a small business. But a lot of small businesses, they kind of struggle in that area, especially if you're someone who is just getting started and you're by yourself. So you don't have a team with you. So you're trying to wear multiple hats, trying to do everything that the business needs to either keep the business going or just stay afloat. So that's where my company comes in and helps with a lot of those challenges that small businesses have.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, you need Mr. Sean to help you, how could I say it, keep your books, or know how cash flow, your cash flow is, what's coming in income and what is the expenses, and and the technology is uh break down the technology part that you work on for a business.
Sure. So for my business, we have a CRM software, and it's provided through a partner called Thrive, where the CRM itself is more of a customer experience platform. So you're able to manage your calendar. You have the ability to manage all your social media accounts just from that one platform. Because I know a lot of business owners, when they get started, they're logging into Facebook or Instagram, or they're logging into Twitter separately when they could be just posting from one platform. Another way that the CRM system works is that it actually provides you a client portal. So you know how sometimes we have to go and hunt down our clients and we have to schedule time manually by sending them the Zoom links and sending them calendar invites. Well, through the client portal, we eliminate that. So now you can send a link to the clients and they can book whatever time that works best for you through the portal itself. So that eliminates one less thing that you have to do as a business owner when you're trying to schedule meetings. Another thing that the CRM does is provides analytics for who's coming to your webpage, who is looking up your business on Google. And also, we provide a Google My Business page, which is something completely separate than just being found on Google. The Google My Business actually creates a profile for your business where anybody can come and read up on the company. They can see what services you provide, what areas that you specifically serve. And of course, they can see other information such as any videos that you have, any content that you share to your social medias. And that's where we get the analytics come from. So anybody who's going to your profile, we track all of that for you. So the CRM does a lot more, but I believe those are the three main features that I really like to talk to customers about because it really helps them be able to, create a better marketing strategy based on those analytics. Allows them to get more reviews through Google, and allows them to actually just put their business out there more. And marketing, honestly, probably is the number one area that a lot of small businesses struggle with.
Okay, okay. So, um, what, what, what got you started? You know, what was your purpose behind creating this business?
Exactly. So I come from a family of small business owners. My father an entrepreneur himself. He did artwork, and if you go through our hometown, Hampton, Virginia, if you go through some of the spots like we had Chickasee down there in Hampton,
Yeah.
and my father was very close with the owners, and he would hang up his artwork right in the Chickasee. So anybody who came in to order chicken from that place, like they'll see his artwork hanging around. He would even leave
Hmm.
flyers for upcoming art shows and events. And my dad also owned a nonprofit that had over 500 members. So the fact that I got the chance to see him, like as a child growing up, be able to run his art business and also run a nonprofit, it really inspired me to become my own entrepreneur and create a business where I could help other business owners, be just as successful. Because we're in an economy now where you don't have that many resources, when you're getting started, and you have to compete not only with other people who has the same idea as you, but you also have to try and compete for these big contracts where major companies already have a leg up on you. Um, so that's initially where I got the idea to start a consulting firm that actually can help people, be able to build their business by focusing on the three main areas that they need to start being successful, or to get a fast start, I like to say.
Okay, all right. It runs in the family. Runs in the family.
Yes.
So, um, uh, in your time, how long have you had your business?
So to be completely transparent, this business is 6 years old. I started this in 2017. Um, and to be quite honest, it probably wasn't the most ideal timing because when I started my business, I started on January 2017. But around that same time, I was starting grad school too. And
Oh,
in grad school, trying to run a business, work a full-time job, and do grad school at the same time, like that really put a lot of stress on my plate because I had to manage classes, I had to manage assignments, and as I stated before in the beginning, like time management is an area that I try to improve on every single day because you're in constant motion as a business owner. And business, like it doesn't sleep. It happens whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, or even at night. So it wasn't ideal when I first started the business. I had to learn how to be one more responsible for myself, how to learn how to be accountable, Again, I had to manage my calendar um, as efficiently as I could between classes, and more importantly, like I had to there's some things I had to learn that I had to kind of put on hold, which as an entrepreneur, sometimes that could be time for yourself. That could be times that you spend with friends and family. Um, so you have to really learn. And I had to be very disciplined to say, hey, there's going to be times where I can't do certain stuff. I got to put the business first, or I even got to put myself first at at points.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing I'm learning as an entrepreneur myself,
Yeah,
that you have to you have to how you say it, time management. And
exactly.
time management is a stickler, because if I like I normally have a schedule, you have your schedule. I might get up at 5, get myself together for the day. Then I have a meeting with a group of ladies I meet with at 7. So, and then I try to, but I have a podcast. So my podcast, I got to turn around and work that in before I meet the ladies at 7. And it's like, okay, I gotta pay attention to time. I gotta pay attention to time. And
Yeah.
so you want to tell us about your podcast? You have a podcast?
Sure thing. So the name of our podcast is Business as Usual, and I'm co-hosting it with my lovely co-host. Her name is Erica Darshell, who is a wealth coach herself. And she
Mm-hmm.
also has a separate podcast of her own that really talks about wealth creation strategies. But the Business as Usual podcast that we're co-hosting is really to help business owners who are just getting started be able to, one, I guess, help them create the mindset. And that's what season one is focused on. It's like, how do you create that mindset as an entrepreneur? And we actually created that theme around doing a SWOT analysis.
Oh,
So looking at the strengths that you have, not only as a business owner, but looking at the strengths of your business in general too.
oh,
Also weaknesses and opportunities and threats. And also too, I did create some content based on the podcast episodes that you can find on my website.
oh,
I know Sharice, you mentioned that in the bio before, but anybody can go to the website. If they go to the downloadable content at the top of the screen, they can
mm-hmm,
see all the content that I've created, and they'll see um, the SWOT analysis worksheet that I created, where they can
mm-hmm,
actually evaluate themselves to
uh-huh.
see what are their major strengths, what are their weaknesses, their opportunities, and their threats. Um, the Business as Usual podcast has not been released yet. We're actually focusing on doing a release next week, and it's going to be specifically on fan base. Um, but if you don't want to wait specifically for the podcast itself, I'm going to be actually starting a whole new YouTube channel for my business as well, where
Okay.
I will be sharing content that business owners can leverage today to actually get their business started and head in the right direction.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, you go for it, because
Yeah,
it's good to share the information that we have, you know, um,
exactly.
out there in the world. And you know, I it's like I say it like this. You can share your information, be help somebody else, help somebody else when you have all this information bubbled up inside and you want to share it. And then some people like, no, you don't want to share that, and that's free, you should be charging for that, and this and that. And I mean, I'll be like, okay, but everybody wants to do things different. Everything is not, oh, I gotta make a buck off of this, and I gotta make a buck off of that. But some that's why we as entrepreneurs get that choice. It's our freedom, it's our free will of what we charge for and what we give away for free. And so what advice would you give to a entrepreneur that's just starting out, that has no funds to work with, but they want to start a business?
Gotcha. And that's a very valid and very important question. And I'm gonna tell you like this: if you're someone who wants to start a business, the first thing I would say is really be selective about what you want to go into, because you don't want to start a business that you're not passionate about, because then you're literally creating your own personal hell. Because when things hit the fan and you have all these brick walls that come up
Uh,
and you're not passionate about, I'll say, knocking down those obstacles that come along your path, or even having the motivation to get up in the morning and deal with it, that
yeah,
tells you right there that's not the business for you.
yeah,
So I'll say the first thing is be very selective about what business you want to start,
uh,
and make sure that you have some type of purpose behind it, some type of passion. Um, and I would say just ask yourself, like, what is the why?
yeah,
And you're going to have that why posted somewhere every morning that where you can just go get up and just look at it, so you're reminded of like why you're getting out of bed that morning to
uh,
go do what you need to do. So that's the first thing I would say. Definitely, the second one is do your research around the business that you want to start.
mm-hmm,
A lot of people, they skip the research part when that should be the first thing that they do. Um,
yeah,
so definitely looking to see if, like, does it make sense to start a business, um, where you're starting it at.
yeah,
There's no point of you starting a salon in an area where you have 3 or 4 other salons that people can go to,
yeah,
and they're pretty much taking your some of your target market. But that gives you 3 competitors that you have to go against, and
yeah,
people who probably had their salons for a while. Definitely do the market analysis. What processes are you going to have in place that's actually going to make your business run efficiently, or even separate you from the competition? Um,
mm-hmm.
so that'll be my first tip, and I have a lot of gems to share, Sharice. So, no, if I go overboard with the time, just let me know. I don't mind.
No,
Um,
you talk as long as you want to talk. We got till 6 o'clock till my next show. Okay, if you want to talk that long, that's on you. And that is the thing um that I give my guests. I give them free reign until maybe, like, like I that's why I'm always when I have the set program, I always set them 2 or 3 hours apart from each other, because I want my guests to have the full, you know you 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 it's about you, it's about the guests, it's not about me, it's about the guests. And that is the thing that I mean that's what I do with my show. I don't know how everybody's run theirs, but
and I,
so
and I
my thing
appreciate.
is, so are you married? Do you have children?
I am married.
Hmm.
Got married during COVID in 2020, so it's been 3 years. Um, no children as of yet. Me
Hmm.
and my wife are both entrepreneurs.
Okay, okay, okay. So where do you see Cashier Consulting in 5 or 10 years?
So I want to. So there's a lot of. I'm a visionary, and I have a lot of dreams that where I want to see cash consulting focused in.
Hmm.
So the main thing is I want cash consulting to be the go-to advisory firm for small businesses when it
Okay.
comes to marketing, technology, and accounting. The second part that I really want us to be really focused on is how can we actually not only just help small businesses, get further faster, but how can we help them scale? So how
Yeah.
can we provide more jobs to the community, in different states? And
Mhm.
another thing I really want to focus on, and this would probably be more than this might be like more than a 5 or 10 year goal, but we'll see how it plays out. We don't know what God has in store for the company, but one thing
Mhm.
I want to do is bring back the trade schools and then be able to provide or create a pathway where people who don't want to go to college, they can come and potentially learn a trade, and
Yeah.
then can take whatever trade that they learn and go be able to start their own business with it. And not everybody is cut out for college. Not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur, but I feel like if you give people the power and the resources to,
Yeah.
officially, make that decision for themselves, um, I feel like that's what's the change that we need to start making, especially with the way colleges are, where tuition rates are going to go up. We don't just have to go to school. in physical. Like we can actually do all of our classes virtually now.
Yeah.
A lot of people nowadays, like, you don't even need to go to school for 4 years. So you can just focus on getting certifications and trained up, and
Yeah.
C++ or learning Java, or maybe doing classes on LinkedIn Learning, or there's other platforms. I can't think of everything off the top of my head, but if you take those like classes or those trainings and get a certificate that says that, hey, that you've completed this course or some
Yeah.
type of certification, um,
Uh-huh.
that makes you just as competitive now as people are going to a four-year university. Um, and you'll start to see more of these shifts happen over time, I believe, because even when I look back on like my educational journey and compared to like where people are at now, like there are high schoolers who are learning C++ and Java in high school. Like they're developing applications. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't have that when I was in high school, to be honest with you. So you see like the dynamic, how things are changing now.
Yeah.
So that's just an example. So um,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I gotta say about it. Um, so definitely, if you're my path is really just to create more opportunities for everybody as much as possible.
Okay. Okay. So I want to say it has been an honor and a privilege, and a honor and a privilege to have you here, Sean. And are you hiring it? Are you doing any hiring?
Uh, not this time.
Mhm.
Right now, I am specifically focused on the partnerships and that I build and bring into my business.
Uh-huh.
Very selective about who I partner with. Right
Yes.
now, the company has two or three major partners that we're partnered with that helps provide the services to these small businesses. And that's another thing too, and that goes back to that question you asked, like,
Uh-huh.
what do people need to know when starting out their business? Uh,
Uh-huh.
Definitely evaluate your strengths and your weaknesses, and then
Mm.
for the weaknesses that you have, I'll say see if there's somebody that you can either partner with that
Yeah.
can bring that experience to the table. So when I first started cash consulting, the only thing that we knew how to do was websites, and I
Okay.
partnered with a friend I met. He was building the websites for me. I was learning sales at the time, and I was
Yeah.
actually pretty good at what I was doing. So I would bring on the clients. I would, send them to him, get their websites developed, and then pretty much I would just upcharge on whatever his prices were. Um,
Mm.
and then as time went on and I made more connections with people, formed more relationships, I found other partners that came in and eventually helped grow the business portfolio. So now
Okay.
we're offering all these different services
Yeah.
as compared to when I first started in 2017.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what 6 years you can accomplish in 6 years, I'll say.
Hmm. Yes, that is, when you start off one way and then it slowly evolves,
Yep.
and snow it evolves into something more than what you started out with. And that is how God works.
Yep.
And he wants to increase. He wants to increase. It's always about an increase. And and us as entrepreneurs, we can't get stuck in that mindset of, oh, this is all I want to do. This is all my business is about. Because I would say I understand where you come from, because when I first started my business, I started off just as an author and a minister, and that was it. And then I kind of slowly, I've been a gospel artist, but I just didn't put it out there like that. And somebody said, "Why are you hiding all the stuff that you do? Tell the people what you do." And I'm always now my business has evolved into helping other authors publish their books. I've gone from just being an author to having my own streaming channel, to now it's like, okay, now I'm executive producer of shows, and it's like God has evolved us. And um you know s- um I tell entrepreneurs, don't be scared when God levels you up to another level that you didn't expect you to get to.
Yeah,
Because we not on our time, we on God's time, and God knows when we're ready for the level up.
exactly.
Yeah. So so like I said, Sean, it has been an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. And come back anytime you got some new stuff to share, or you have opportunities, or higher opportunities, or where you want to, or you want to have a start a mentorship program, and we got to put that out there. I'm here to tell everybody to give you the exposure that you need. So thank you so much, Sean. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to have you on Entrepreneur Corners, and you come back. Anything else you want to share before we go?
Yes, I would say definitely you brought up a very good point, Sharice, where as a business owner, you definitely got to be vocal and let people know about what you are doing. So if you're someone who's starting a business or have a business, I would say just be more vocal. No, just tell everybody within your network, tell your family and friends what it is that you're doing, because the best type of marketing out there really is word of mouth.
Yeah,
Um, and there's technology as good as it is, it
yeah,
does a lot of stuff, but there's nothing out there like the human connection, and that's
yeah,
knowing, say, being able to say like, "Hey, I know somebody that knows somebody that can do this for you." Uh,
yeah.
Definitely leverage that word of mouth.
Uh-huh.
I'll say take advantage of all the free things that are out there.
Okay.
One thing as a consultant I've learned is that everybody wants to get further faster, but you can't cheat the process. Like there's some things you're going to have to do yourself
Mm-hmm.
before it makes sense to bring somebody on board. So
Yeah,
definitely leverage all the free stuff. Like you have social media, so your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. You have YouTube out there. Like that's free. Like it
yeah.
doesn't cost anything to pretty much make your own video. Even you can even pretty much run your business from your phone nowadays. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Marketing video right through using the application on your smartphone. So definitely look at all that stuff first
yeah,
before bringing in a consultant. One thing I always ask my clients before I even take them on as a client, like, hey, I know you say you need help in this area, but what have you done first? Like,
yeah,
what worked, what didn't work? And
yeah.
then when I review what they've done already, then I
Mm-hmm.
can say, okay, I can tell you why this didn't work, and I can tell you why this worked. But at least I can say that at least you put the work in first before
Yeah.
coming to me, because now I have something to work off of instead of starting from ground zero. Uh,
Yes.
so that I would say, definitely leverage the free stuff. And again, just remember like what your why is. That is so important.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be days that you don't feel like getting out of bed to deal with. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry if I cuss, or I'm gonna use the abbreviation, Sharice. There's going to be a lot of BS that you're going to deal with as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
It is not just going to. It's going to be people. It's going to be dealing with timelines.
Yeah.
It'll be a
Product or
million of things.
service. Right.
And I got plenty of stories to share. So I was just say, no, God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough at first, but
Yes.
I promise the stuff that you go through today is just going to make tomorrow so much easier.
Yes, it is. It is. Thank you, Sean.
No
Thank
problem.
you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me on the show, Sharice.
Oh, you're welcome, honey. All right, and we will talk to you another time. Okay, babies.
Yes, sounds good.
Okay. All right. You have a good evening. Okay.
Thanks. You too.
All right. All right, it has been Entrepreneur Corner time, child, and he gave us some tidbits. He gave us some stuff that will invigorate you, inspire you, and want to know what is your why. Why are you doing it? Why did you want to do? Why did you decide to do it? And I want to say, if you would like to be a guest on Entrepreneur Corners, we are here. Okay, you can contact me at my email address at I am Sharice at ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com, or you can call me, baby. You can call me 724-570-1153. 724-570-1153. If you want to know the details of how to appear on our Entrepreneur Corners. Okay. I want to say thank you again. I want to thank all my guests that have shown up for the shows, that have come in and give us numerous amount of knowledge, and giving your business the exposure it needs. I want to say also, if you are not able or you are unable to watch this video, you can also catch it on the podcast, okay? On Sharice Johnson Moore's podcast. This segment is entitled Entrepreneur Corners. I have all of the shows on my podcast. My podcast is named Sharice Johnson Moore's Podcast. It is available on Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor is our home. Anchor, I do the podcast through Anchor at anchor.fm.com. But Anchor distributes it to Apple, Google, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible, Verbal, and we just got picked up by iHeartRadio for the podcast. So, and it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to bring you all the episodes for our shows to the podcast. Yes, you can go to the podcast. You can go to the podcast. Go to the podcast. You can go to the podcast. I'll go to the podcast. You can go to the podcast. Hey, that's how I be. I am a very spirited person, so I don't want nobody to say, "Oh, she just dead in the water." And she, no, I don't want nobody to say I'm dead in the water. I love being me. I love being me. And if you're an entrepreneur, anybody, I'm gonna say this to anybody. This is my motivation moment right here. Don't let nobody change you to something that you ain't. Okay? Be happy about who you are. Be happy about what you do. And always tell people about what you do. Okay? So I want to say thank you to everyone for coming in and spending time with us for Entrepreneur Corners. And our guest today was Sean Banks of Cachet Consulting out of Reston, Virginia. Okay, I want to say thank you, everyone, and I love you. If you want to advertise on any of my shows, please get in contact with me. I have advertising spots available. If you are interested in it, bringing exposure to your business in that way, a commercial here on the show, or you can put your audio commercial on the podcast as well. So come on and let's bring exposure to your business. Okay, let's tell the people what you do and how you do it, and and just tell the world. Don't ever be shy about your business and what you do, and telling people about your products and services. Okay, I love you, and I will talk to you later. Okay, and I will see you again back here next Sunday on Entrepreneur Corners. Sharice Johnson Moore signing out. Bye, babies.